This this video shows, as far as I'm concerned, Weinstein was railroaded. And the reason I say that is because whatever happened behind closed doors, he was denied due process, as far as I'm concerned. And so maybe he was inappropriate, maybe not. All we've got is he said, she said. And this is his lawyer, and she's going to express it perfectly. And this is why I joined the Pro Male Collective, because we've reached a point in history that our rights as human beings, just because we're men, just because we're born male, have been eroded, and they continually being eroded. So let's hear what she has to say.
Accused during the trial of taunting witnesses and bringing them to tears and inducing panic attacks. How do you reflect on that now?
You know, when you walk into a courtroom, whether you're a defense attorney, whether you're a defendant, whether you're a prosecutor or a witness, everyone has a role and a job that they have to play and do. And, you know, when the women make allegations in this case, part of making allegations is that your stories are challenged. That's what the American justice system looks like. You make a claim, the defendant has a right to something that we call the Sixth Amendment right to confront your accusers, and you can ask questions to do that. You know, the people that criticized me, I don't think they really think about the big picture, and I don't understand what they were hoping for. Were they hoping that we would let people walk into a courtroom, tell their stories, and not be asked any questions?
Yes, that's what they were hoping for. That's what they are hoping for. This is the way it usually goes. Some famous guy gets accused by one woman, and then all the rats, the other females, scurry out to attack to get a chunk of the cheese. And then they turn around and say, well, look at all these women. They can't all be liars. So it's cyclical arguments.
Doesn't make any sense. That's not how a court procedure works.
The trial obviously had little forensic evidence.
It had zero forensic evidence.
So it was down to the testimony of these women, and ultimately that was accepted by the jury. Do you accept that things are changing in the way these kinds of cases are tried?
If this becomes a pattern or a model for the way juries decide cases, I think every single person who finds themselves charged with a crime should be concerned. Because if we are finding
every man, women will not have this happen to them. And here's another thing, I'm going to add this. This woman is defending Weinstein so well here because she has something to gain, right? She's his lawyer. She's getting paid. And so she has skin in the game. Well, these women who come out of the closet to accuse, Weinstein, they have skin in the game. They have something to gain by lying. And so if I ask any woman, they always say the same thing. Oh no, or what? All these women saying it must be true. What, you can't find 1,000 liars? They have something to gain and they have nothing to lose. These women aren't suffering any consequences when their lies are caught out. Let me ask you guys something. If you had zero consequences for something and you had temptation, I mean, people would just assume that some of you would go for it. And not like 5%, probably 50%. It's probably a flip of the coin. And so these women have nothing to lose and something to gain. And yet, what? It's only considered when a woman is attacking a man. Look, when a woman is pulled over for speeding, that's neutral. Society doesn't say, okay, women can drive as fast as they can, because they know what would happen. It'd be a bunch of women speeding because they're not going to suffer any consequences for speeding. But all of a sudden, because they're attacking a man, it's different, that the dynamics, the human psychology doesn't function.
people guilty where there are mountains of doubt and very little evidence, if any at all, I think we need to question what the justice system looks like.
But when you have sexual assault cases, the idea of a woman coming to police with a test tube of evidence just isn't realistic, is it?
Well, that's not true. That's not true. It's not about realistic. No, but the question is, do you have to believe someone just because they make a statement? There is a history of cases where women don't tell the truth. So to say that now we should just believe women just because they make a claim without any evidence to back it up, and actually evidence to the contrary, I think that we have to be concerned about what these verdicts look like.
Yeah, and the thing is, why people aren't concerned is because it's a one-way street. It's women to men. And men are hostile to other men, so they like to see them go down. There's a lot of low-status, jealous men who like to see men go down. And Weinstein's high up, so they want to see that. And women have contempt for men. As you can see, they don't think twice about lying. Even if you pick the liars out and say, well, they only, let's say, represent 20% of the female population, the rest of the female population, like this woman, backs them. Understand? The average woman is just as guilty because she backs them. She doesn't say, okay, let's see how the trial goes. Let's see the evidence. She just says, a woman accused a man. Well, she must be right because I'm a woman, so is she. And here's another thing that disgusts me to no end. If almost any comment section you look at, there'll be anti-Semites glad, rubbing their hands that Weinstein got zapped. Just more, low life, low status male, jealous as hell.
False rape accusations are a tiny percentage of overall rape accusations. And you're speaking as though it's the overwhelming majority.
I'm not speaking as it's the overwhelming majority. You are speaking as if because someone makes a claim, it should be gospel. We have a system of justice in the United States that says you are innocent until proven guilty.
How would she know that's tiny percentage? Well, I just pointed out, like, if there's no consequences and you've got something to gain, the percentage isn't going to be tiny. It's going to be huge, or it's going to become huge. That's what happens. That's why we have laws. The average, your neighbor, next door to you and across the street, if you took all the laws away, they would start behaving like criminals. And just because you're female changes nothing.
I'm sure I don't need to remind you of the headlines that have been written about you. What kind of woman defends Harvey Weinstein? There's a special place in hell for Weinstein's law.
The kind of woman who defends him, in this case Donna here, she has something to gain. Just like the kind of woman who lies and comes out of the woodwork has something to gain. That's the kind of women who are in this. None of these women, even Donna here, are in it for altruistic reasons. Women do not defend men just because it's the right thing to do. I think this is what I hope you guys listen at least this far, so I can say this. Women do not defend men because it's the right thing to do. They have something to gain.
The Me Too movement has a very loud voice. Has their case and their argument ever made you feel like you're a traitor to your gender?
Not at all. I have a job to do. I believe in the system of justice that we live under in the United States. I think that we have to fight hard to preserve.
Oh yeah, and here's another thing. They've taken away the statute of limitations for sexual assault. So it's just every bad as murder. And the problem with this, there's two of them, of course, is one, it's not as bad as murder. And the second thing is it's only one way, female to male. So, I mean, it is just it's a deepening situation where we are losing our rights as human beings just because we were born, male.
People's rights, and I'll continue to do that.
Are you confident that you're on the right side of history here?
who decides what that is? I think that'll happen. I think that determination will happen long down the road, maybe long after I'm gone. If you're looking at it through a moral lens, everyone's guilty. But that's not what we do in a criminal justice system. That's not how it works.
These women were guilty.
They were guilty of a lot of things. They were guilty of using Harvey Weinstein. They were guilty of asking Harvey Weinstein to do things, making him believe that they wanted to be with him, that they wanted to spend time with him, and then get up on a witness stand and call him disgusting, sending him letters saying, miss you, big guy, sending letters saying, love you lots. I mean, how is that okay? How are we as a society saying men all bad, women all good, when we look at that evidence? How do you reconcile that?
Did that behavior warrant sexual assault?
We're talking about two different things. You're asking me if the women were guilty. I'm telling you that they were guilty of certain things. No behavior warrants sexual assault. None. The question.
And here's another thing. Sexual assault is being watered down. It's not rape, right? When people say sexual assault, what do you really think? You think rape, right? Well, sexual assault could just be someone coming up to Donna here and rubbing her shoulder. That's considered sexual assault. So sexual assault charges should be nothing by rights. They got to at least be clearly defined before you go around jailing a man, destroying his reputation. What they should be saying, oh, well, he touched your shoulder. Well, he shouldn't have done that. Get on with your life.
The question here is whether sexual assault took place given everything else we know.
Then
That's
you
the
believe it
question.
did not.
Absolutely right.
Coming forward cannot be an easy decision. It brings intimidation, it brings intense scrutiny, it can ruin a career. Surely a woman's not going to do that unless she's telling the truth.
This is bullshit. These women have nothing to lose. Most of a lot of the women who are after Weinstein or talking about Weinstein, their careers are over. Why did they wait so long? It isn't because #MeToo came out. A lot of these women they're at the end of their careers. There's nothing for them to lose. They could have come out 10 years ago, some of them when their careers were still at the top. But they wouldn't have dared because they would actually be putting something at risk. They'd actually have someone say, oh, really? So you're going to accuse me of sexual assault tomorrow? I don't think I'll work with you. Which is right, because it's not right. It's unjust. And you know something? These women got a lot more out of it than Weinstein did. Weinstein got something that guys dream about, the odd sexual encounter. And meanwhile, these women gained like multi-million-dollar careers and fame.
I think that's probably one of the most ridiculous statements I've ever heard. There are so many reasons people lie. People lie on a regular basis, whether we're talking about sexual assault, whether we're talking about whether or not they made a phone call, whether or not they showed up at work on time. People lie. We live in a society of people who lie. So to say that we should only question people in every other aspect of life, but we should never question them about sexual assault.
You've seen these women up close. They don't look like they were having a good time in court.
No, of course not. Going to court is not a good time for anyone. It wasn't a good time for Harvey. It's not a.
Of course they can't be looking like they have a good time. How would they be convincing if they showed up with a smile on their face and said, I'm going to get Weinstein, maybe I'll get some money out of this? What an idiotic thing for this woman to say.
A good time for them. Being in a courtroom is never a pleasant experience. Of course not. It's not a pleasant experience for anyone.
So why would they put themselves through that if they're not telling the truth and seeking justice?
Let's see what happens after this.
Because they have something to gain. I just said that. This woman's face is disgusting. Not Donna's, that other retard.
This sentencing tomorrow, and we'll see how many people file lawsuits against Harvey Weinstein.
Is it such a radical position to believe women, to have that as the foundation?
It is not a radical position to believe people on the surface level about anything. That's not a radical position. But to say that you should believe a statement that someone makes without challenging in any way, when you have evidence to the contrary, that's very dangerous, is what I'm saying. So can you imagine if we lived in a society where we say, well, everything everybody says we must believe?
If there are other factors taken into account here.
Okay, this is all I need to show this woman's killing it. And this disgusting barbarian, that's what I consider her. What she's just advocating for is that when women accuse a man, this man has to go. She doesn't really need, not even talking about belief. What she's really talking about, once a woman says, I want this man punished, that man's going to be punished. I'm sorry, I can't take her face anymore. What a disgusting rodent. Okay, man, that's all I have to say about this.